Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online. Welcome also to sisi, although it's a little bit different because today's video is going to be a post commentary on the latest mass test. The reason I'm making a post commentary is because I was having some audio problems when it comes to recording my voice, and as a result I'm only going to use the footage for this one. The problem is that, well, it's twofold. I have two problems with the audio that keep coming back. First of all, whenever I leave my microphone in the USB port for a longer period of time, we're talking a week or more, there is some static that starts to build up for some reason on the recordings, and especially when I'm using the software for the Elgato capture card. Now a second problem is that the capture card and the software for the capture card very specifically tries to record at 48 kilohertz, and so I'm not sure if it happened when I changed USB port or on one of the latest Windows updates, but that setting was changed back to like 44 kilohertz, I think like CD quality instead of the 48 kilohertz that you actually want when you're recording through one of the Elgato capture cards. And so that's the thing that I had to change, and that's the reason why you had this crackling static that kept coming back in some of the previous videos. It's something that I have to keep an eye on. I'm not exactly sure what changed the setting, but normally it should be better from now on, and we are of course going to try to do a post commentary then, so that you don't have to struggle through all the crackling that was happening during the mass test. So this mass test was pretty specific. It was aimed at testing a new code for loading and unloading of munitions. So CCP took a look at that, completely did a complete rewrite of the code, and this should have fixed some bugs. Namely, I think that some munitions could be lost when you were reloading your guns and you were then going through a gate, which is something that we very specifically did a test for. And what should now work is that when you press reload, then press your cloak, it should continue the reloading, and by the time that you're ready to decloak, you should have full guns ready there. On top of some of the values that apparently were bugged out, where some of the reload times weren't completely right and things like that. That's basically what CCP worked on here, at least one of the teams, and what we were testing during this mass test. So we did a little bit of everything: loading, reloading. I chose a rattlesnake so that I had different types of munitions for the launchers, but also some scripts for the tracking link. And from my perspective, I did pretty much everything that I could think of, including what CCP said, like do it on all the guns separately, for instance. It worked really nicely. Everything felt quite responsive. I could switch out the munitions without any problems. The cooldowns remained quite consistent throughout everything, and yeah, stuff basically worked as expected from my end. I didn't have any bugs to report or anything like that. So yeah, looks like CCP is trying to slowly keep fixing what's happening under the hood of EVE Online, of course, which is very important. This is one of those commitments that we really know CCP does have, and they really do their best to try and fix problems that they have with the game, although of course from time to time it can take quite a while before they actually find the real problem or have the time frame to focus on a single problem and try to find a solution. Such as with the drones, there were some real problems with the drones before, but that seemed with the drone window specifically, where it didn't really show the state of your drones after you tried to recall them. It looked like they were still in space. Problems like that have been fixed by now. The drone aggro, I'm not sure if that's completely fixed, if that will ever get fixed. I actually think that that's more on the NPC side than on the drone side. But yeah, CCP is working hard under the hood of EVE Online all the time to try and improve performance, to try and get rid of bugs, and of course also to try and increase the looks of the game as well. So first step, of course, for this mass test, it was just mainly about testing those gun reloading mechanics before a jump, after a jump, with all the different possibilities that we could think of there. Number wise, not too bad, despite the fact that we had some logging problems just half an hour before the start of the mass test. I couldn't get on sisi. That was actually fixed on time, and I think from like 5 minutes to 8 to 5 minutes past 8, we went from like 60 people on sisi to like 165 in local, and I think we went to around 200 people for this mass test by the end of it, with of course the fight in Poitot, which is a classic. So we skipped the bash A structure this time. We went straight to a PvP fight, which well, was quite interesting. I went with the rattlesnake, but I think that fleet W and fleet X were decently well balanced, and as a result I actually lasted a little bit longer in this fight. I didn't get doomsdayed off the field right away or anything like that. I actually managed to get into some fights with some other ships as well, and it was quite fun performance wise. That is of course one of the main reasons why we have these fights. It all looked pretty damn good. 200 people in a fight, and in local, no tie-dye to spot, 35 to 40 frames per second was what I was managing, and everything from my end felt pretty responsive. I could move around with the camera any way that I wanted. I could use the modules without any lag or problems as well, and so yeah, looked like a pretty damn decent and successful mass test from my perspective. So for the rest of the video, I'm gonna give you guys the rest of the footage that I've got from the fight. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys next time.
You